You got Monster Hunter Rise for Christmas. Congratulations. Welcome to the greatest game series ever created. Is this a game you've wanted for months and months and just weren't able to get it until now? Is this the game that you had to wait for a family member to buy for you because you spent all your money on something better? Are you slumming it? Why didn't you buy this game when it first came out? So this video, I'm going to explain a few things to you about the game that I think is very useful before you get started. Definitely play the game. I'm not trying to warn you off it. It's an amazing game, but I want to set your expectations a little bit because this game is different from pretty much every other game out there. So this video is things to know before you get too far. Yes, it's a list. Should I count them down or count them up? There's 7 of them, okay? We're going to go from 1 to 7. All right, so 7 things to know about Monster Hunter Rise. I'm not going to say before you get started. That's kind of stupid. You start playing the game, get into it, have fun. Things to know before you get too far. Number 1, there is not a storyline to Monster Hunter Rise. There's never been a storyline to a Monster Hunter game. Some people might say, well, Monster Hunter World had a storyline. That's bullshit. There's no storyline in Monster Hunter World. It's the same thing over and over. There's giant monsters. They're invading your villages and you need to stop them. That's it. There's too many monsters in the world. You have to bring balance back to nature and all that bullshit. The storyline is not why we play this game. All right, second thing to know before you get too far. Rampage quests are pretty dumb. Yeah, I know a lot of people like them, but most people I've talked to don't like them. They're kind of pointless. They throw a bunch of fake monsters at you. I mean, you hit them a few times and then they fade away. Like you can't even kill them. They just kind of fade away. They turn around and walk away and then they just fade. They don't have the same amount of life as regular monsters. They look like regular monsters. They're more like ghost monsters. And it's just a weird feeling. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like you're really fighting them. You can shoot ballistas and cannons and other special weapons at them. You can fight them hand to hand. You can do stuff in the Rampage that you can't do in normal quests, but it's weak. You do have to do a few Rampage quests to progress in the game, but you're not going to be doing a lot of these going forward. Next thing to know before you get too far. Number 3, gathering is important right now, but it won't be later. Gathering is where you pick things up off the ground. So you can pick up berries and plants and bugs, and you can mine ores from mining spots. All that stuff is really good and really useful early on in the game. And I suggest you do as much gathering as you can as you go along until you've completed all of the village quests. You won't regret it. Even the small monsters, when you kill a small monster, carve every single one. Once you get to the end game, you won't really be gathering much at all, and you won't need to. There will be other ways to get the items that you need. Right now, however, do it. Number 4, there's more than one best way to play. So many people will tell you that there is an optimal way to play the game. There's a weapon tier list, and you have to pick from a couple different weapons. And within each weapon class, there are certain weapons that are so much better than other ones, and there's really only one choice. They'll say for you to play longsword or to play bow. Some people will even say don't play bow because it's too powerful. Some people will say, well, you know, the only weapon that you should use is the light bowgun, and there's only one ammo type that you should really use with the light bowgun, and so there's only one gun that you should use when you're using light bowgun, and all that's just bullshit. There's no one best way to play the game. The cool thing about Monster Hunter is there are hundreds of best ways to play the game. The single best thing about the game, and the reason why most people keep playing it long after they have dominated everything in the game, is because it feels like you're playing a whole new game when you switch weapons, and that's really cool. Things to know before you get too far in the game. Number 5, very similar to number 4. Min-maxing is a stressful waste of time. What armor skills are the best to use? How to get every last bit of DPS? How to get every last bit of attack power? How to optimize every single aspect of the game? It's a waste of time. It's very stressful. You'll end up spending more time min-maxing, adjusting your stats, worrying about it, than you will actually playing the game. And that's pretty sad. Because of the variety of weapon types and play styles and options you have, you really don't have to worry about maximizing things. I've been playing the game for a long time fan of the series, and I know how to min-max. I know how to squeeze every last ounce of attack power out of any particular weapon or scenario, but I don't because I don't need to. There's some serious diminishing returns on min-maxing. So most of your gains are going to come from learning how to use the weapon better. So for example, if you're playing bow, which I do most of the time, the single most important thing you can do to maximize your damage with bow is to learn how to aim. Learning how to aim accounts for probably 60% of the amount of damage you do. And then, so this is just an example, another 30% of the damage that you do depends entirely on properly charging up the bow. And then that last 10% is going to come from which weapon you choose, which armor skills you choose, which potions you take, and stuff like that. Number 6. Things to know before you get too far. It's pronounced Lanny apple. This is a weird little acorn shaped thing. It's something very useful to give to your cats and your dogs when they're training. And it's got a weird spelling. It's spelled Lagni, Lagni apple. So you might be tempted to say Lagni apple or just mumble it or give it a new name because you don't know how to pronounce it. It's Lanny apple. It is derived from a Creole word, lagniappe. It's a pun, actually. Look up lagniappe on Wikipedia. It's pretty cool. Number 7, yes, you literally just fight the same 47 monsters over and over and over again. And this is fun. Now, what changes from one quest to the next? The monster doesn't change, but you change and you grow and you get better and you learn from your mistakes. It's all about self-improvement. Now, some people play the game to completion and they put it on the shelf next to their old versions of Call of Duty, and that's that. They had their fun. Other people, however, continue to play the game for hundreds and hundreds, thousands of hours even, because they want to improve their skills. So that's about it. If you have played this game before, tell us what you think is important for new players to know before they get too far in the game. And if you're currently playing the game, give me a shout out in the comments. Let me know how far you are. And if you have any questions about anything about the game, ask those too. I love responding to comments. The next thing we're going to do is a little tutorial on how to get started. So look for that one soon.